we say rescue. Sometimes that does happen, but we're more like a rehoming, like find the dog a new home.
Right.
People that are moving away, or people that elderly people sometimes just can't keep their little dog, and their family can't look after the dog either. Because of work or whatever. And so those dogs then come to us. And every now and then we'll have a dog that has been treated very poorly, and it'll come in almost as a rescue, through lots of means, or, you know, just because it's sort of been almost abandoned, it's in trouble, and so
people,
we do that.
Sorry, so people contact you then if they have a problem with an animal, if they can't keep it anymore, they're moving to, there's so many different scenarios, so they'll contact you and you guys will open up your homes. And now you were saying, how many do you have currently in your home?
Well, actually, I have, by tonight I'll have 10 in my home, and I have a couple that are out in foster homes.
Right. And what about yourself? You have?
I have 11 in my home right now, and I have about 5 in foster homes. I think.
5 in foster homes.
And actually,
these are all volunteers opening up their homes. So
all
now,
volunteers.
And actually, of those 10 dogs, actually 2 of them actually belong to me.
Wow.
So those are not
wow.
rescues.
So what's the criteria if someone is looking to take on a dog? I know it's a lifelong, not a lifelong, but for the length of their life, it's a huge commitment.
That's right.
So how does a person get in contact or find out what dogs you have?
Well, we have a website, littlepawsrescue.net, and that is our lead out, and it's also for adoptions, and it's also linked to pet finders.
Right.
And of course we drive our vans all over the Lower Mainland and all over the island, Little Paws Rescue plastered all over them. So we're actually, you know, very well known that way, and the word gets out, and it doesn't take long, you know, and all it really takes is just a mention for somebody saying that they're looking to rehome their dog or they're looking to adopt. And, you know, I mean, the computers are out there, so we're pretty easy to find, you know.
Right.
Dana and I work very closely together, and I think that's why we have we get on very well together. Our criteria is the same. Our training techniques are the same. We bounce off each other. So therefore, we're able to, if there is a problem, or we have a problem with we're not quite sure of somebody that's looking to adopt, and we maybe don't feel for whatever reason that home is not suitable, then we'll talk about it. And quite often Dana will set me straight, and she's my leader. And vice versa, right?
What does a perfect home for you, for an animal, look like? What are kind of some of the criteria that you'd like to see?
We usually would try, first of all, we have the dogs come in, and we do all, Julie and I do every take-in, like every time a dog comes in, we're involved in that process, just so we know the dog. And we place every dog that comes to our rescue.
Right.
We're a major part of all of that.
We're the only ones that go and assess the dog, take in the surrender, and do the adoption.
So you like to match, obviously.
Yeah, and so we want to know the dog.
Right.
And then, so what happens when a dog comes in, it'll come in, and we will assess, and then we'll decide on the foster. And thank goodness for our foster homes, those wonderful people that help us. Because there's absolutely no way you could begin to run a rescue without that kind of help.
Because you don't have an office space. You don't have the luxury of space without these people.
So then we decide where they should be fostered, what's the best foster. And then along with that process goes the vet check.
Right.
Because every dog that comes through goes to our vet. And that's one thing we're really strict on, or get onto, is vet care.
Right.
And so the dogs come in, and whatever they need, they pretty much get, like dentals, and we've done leg surgeries, we've done eye surgeries, we've done a lot of work with the animals, because we want them to go from us with the best chance possible.
And not to see them again, but in a loving way.
Yeah. And so that's basically how they come in. And then from there, you know, we're looking for a home, I guess, where somebody's home a lot, usually, because oftentimes, lots of time, somebody's home a lot. Young dogs, we're looking for people that can exercise them. We place quite a few older dogs. Then we're looking for probably retired people, or people that just have time for them.
So people can fill out online, of course, fill out application online, which goes directly to either one of you, depending on the animal.
Yes.
Yeah, and then go from there, and hopefully find, because I know you have a ton of dogs that need new homes.
We have a lot of dogs, and usually when we get a dog in as a surrender, or even from the SPCA, because they contact us quite a bit.
Right, and that's
to take dogs. And, you know, if it's a difficult dog with behavior issues, then it's generally only Dan and I that will, after we've assessed the dog, generally it's usually Dan and I.
We might have one or two fosters that do that, but not
you know,
too many.
you've got to be careful if you do receive a dog in that's got a bit of a behavior issue, where you put it.
Right.
So again, we work together on that because you know, our foster homes are wonderful, but sometimes they tend to spoil because they tend to think, oh, I feel so sorry for you because you're a rescue, but that's the worst thing that you can do because dogs move on.
Right.
They don't feel sorry for themselves. They're just living for now, right? But that's where people make a huge mistake.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for being here today and for doing what you do, because it's amazing how many animals I'm sure you've given such hope and such better lives to, you know, so thank you.
You know, and the other real part of that is it's a reward. What's another thing that's really rewarding is the people you place the dog with, especially some of the older people or something. Like the match it gives them so much pleasure. It gives them so much. Like you hear back from them, and they're just thrilled. They just got this little dog, and they're loving it to death.
Perfectly into their life.
And the match is the whole point.
Yeah. So you're
matchmakers
essentially.
Yeah, matchmakers. In that sense, we are.
In the canine world, right, Diana?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.